Welcome into the Cowboys Report. I am Tom Downey and still in shambles over the Cowboys choking against the 49ers in the playoffs. Plenty to talk about, coaches, Dak, Zeke, and more, but today's show is presented by the Fetch Rewards app. It's an app that allows you to scan your receipts for points that you can then redeem for gift cards for your favorite stores and restaurants. We'll tell you more about them in a little bit on today's show, but let's begin with Mike McCarthy. There were some rumors entering this week of games of, hey, if Mike McCarthy could go if the Cowboys disappoint. Now, I think some of those rumors were more speculative than grounded in what was being said by the Cowboys organization. But the Cowboys were bad against the 49ers. They came out flat again. Jerry Jones, they didn't want to talk about McCarthy after the game. At least that's how I interpret that quote. Stephen Jones today, 105 to the Fan, asked, hey, is Mike McCarthy going to be your leader next year? He says, absolutely. Very confident. I feel like confidence is kind of a weird word to use there. Of course you're confident, you should know. I'm not sold. Maybe I'm just in the first stage of grief denial that McCarthy's not going to go. We'll come back to it because I'm still upset with this loss. I am not over it. I don't know when I'm going to be over it. I am very upset, very disappointed by the way this game ended up going down. Are you with me there? Are you over this loss yet? I am not. So sound off for me in the comment section. Type in Y for yes, you are over this loss, N for no, you are not. Jerry was not over it last night. Here's what he had to say afterward. I don't even want to discuss anything like that, referring to Mike McCarthy's future at this particular time. No discussion about anything. I'm not going to discuss coaching, preparation, any of those things. That is not on the table. I took the not on the table side to discussing it right then. Jerry's got to answer this at some point because he is the owner after all. And Jerry knows this too. The outcome on Sunday, unacceptable, was not a valid result. The team again laid an egg when it mattered the most. And what actually bothered me the most after the game is the attitude from the players. We're going to blame the refs after the game. And I am fully convinced that lack of accountability stems from Mike McCarthy because he blamed the refs after they lost to the Cardinals, by the way. He did it. We all remember it. Players did too. I didn't like it. You lost because you didn't play well. Yeah, there were some bad calls. Okay, the ref got in the way of Dak. Yeah, it all happens. He needed a miracle anyway. Wasn't going to win you the game, most likely. The lack of accountability, I think, stems from Mike McCarthy. In the end, the Dallas Cowboys, they returned to being the soft boys. That's why I said no nicknames for the defense. They had to prove it first. And they were much better in the second half. Didn't force a punt in the first half. The entire team lost this game. And when the entire team and the coaches and only a handful of guys played great, if that, in the game, I think it's a coaching issue. So Steven says Mike McCarthy will be back, or at least he's confident Mike McCarthy will be back. Okay, we'll see. I'm not sold yet. What do you want the Cowboys to do? F for fire Mike McCarthy, K for keep. This is the pinned comment on today's video. The ad break comes on YouTube. Go sound off. I'm down to move on from McCarthy. It's been 2 years. 1 year wasn't very good, but Mike McCarthy is a CEO-type coach. He's not calling the plays on offense. And I thought the CEO side, clock management, decision-making, being prepared, focus, wasn't very good. When everything fails, I think that's a coaching staff failure on my end. Now, I'm going to say this right now. Maybe we'll bring it up again in the future. If you're firing Mike McCarthy amid the uncertainty around Kellen Moore, Dan Quinn's futures, I don't care who you hire necessarily. You have to have a good process. The Cowboys haven't done a real head coaching search since Wade Phillips. So sure, I'm fine to fire McCarthy. The answer is not promote your OC or promote your DC. I want a real search because just promoting internally hasn't been working. Now let's talk about those two internal guys. Kellen Moore, who the report was from CBS was, hey, Jerry loves Kellen Moore. Let's be honest, guys. Kellen Moore was bad down the stretch this year. He was not good. The Cowboys offense got away from the things that they did well. Outside runs, pre-snap motion, pulls, being creative, not running the football up the middle, getting the ball to the hands of your playmakers. There was a lack of creativity outside of a handful of plays this year for Kellen Moore. We used to say Kellen Moore was in his bag. His bag was gone after week 7 or so. He did not adjust. He failed as an OC. I don't want him as a head coach. I can't right now. I'm sorry. Dan Quinn, meanwhile, has major NFL head coaching interests, and I would not be surprised if Quinn leaves for a place like Denver. So if you want to keep Dan Quinn, who unquestionably was your best coordinator this year, you have to make him the head coach. But he wasn't a great head coach in Atlanta. He could be your guy. I'm not sold he is as your head coach. I am, of course, sold on him as your DC. That's why I want a real search. Vets Rewards is an app that allows you to scan your receipts that you can then redeem for gift cards for your favorite places, Amazon, Starbucks, your favorite restaurants as well. It's super easy to use, by the way. Let me show you guys. All you got to do, pull up the app, pull up whatever receipts you guys got, whether it's for Amazon online, whether it's for your restaurants, your local mom and pop, favorite coffee or grocery store. Hit the button, go ahead and shop, pull it up. It'll just look at your receipt. It'll need your store, your total, your date. Get the whole thing in there. Grab it. It'll grab all the information you need. Hit submit, and then as it finishes up, boom, it'll upload your receipts and get you guys points for whatever you spent on. 7-Eleven, it works. Papa John's, whether you're eating out, eating in, or shopping, it's got you guys covered for whatever. And then head on down, and you can redeem it for gift cards, Amazon, Dunkin' Donuts, Starbucks, CVS. If you got a girl, Ulta Beauty. My wife loves that. I'm not a huge fan of it myself, but it is what it is in the end. It's very simple, guys. We're going to hook you up with 3,000 bonus points as well. Chatsports.com/fetch. Use promo code Cowboys to get yourself the 3,000 bonus points. I'll put the link in the comments and the description. By the way, it's free to use. Chatsports.com/fetch. Promo code Cowboys. Let's keep talking more about coaching here. Will Kane, formerly a ESPN commentator and, of course, big Cowboys fan, says Dallas doesn't need an offensive genius. They don't need the next big thing a coach. They need a leader. I wonder, has Dallas ever tried to pry Bill Belichick out of New England? It would seem if you really want to win a Super Bowl and systemic discipline is your problem, Belichick. That's right, guys. Just hire the best coach ever. It's that simple. I'm going to warn you all right now. The 3 names you'll see hoped for: Bill Belichick, Mike Tomlin, Sean Payton. Go trade for one of those guys. Go get them. Not that simple, guys. There's a reason that hasn't happened a real trade since the Herm Edwards days. Technically, Bruce Arians was dealt, but he had retired. It was a contract thing, not really a huge deal there. Don't get your hopes up. As fun as a Tomlin, as a Belichick, as good as that would be, why would those organizations say, yeah, coach, you can leave? You're banking on the other team being stupid. When that's the case, you almost never see the deal actually go down. Now, we're going to have more updates for you guys all season long here on the Dallas Cowboys Report. If you want free videos, this is your one-stop shop. So if you haven't already, hit that big red button and subscribe today. Let's talk quarterback now. Blame Dak. Yes, he is the quarterback. Fair or not, and it's more on the fair side this time around, he gets some blame. He shouldn't get all of the blame. No one player should, especially when there's a lot of mistakes made there. But Dak did not play well against the 49ers. You unquestionably needed more out of Dak Prescott than what you got. Yeah, there were drops. Yeah, the offensive line was garbage in that game. But Dak deserves blame too. He didn't play well enough. Now, you were asking Dak to almost play a top 3 quarterback game, which we've seen him do, but he didn't do it. There's lots of blame to go around. I thought the offensive line had maybe their worst game of the season. They were terrible in this one. Niners got home with 4 way too often. Dak was constantly under pressure. Receivers had some drops. The penalties. Oh, my God, the penalties. You were in 2nd and 28 at one point. Like, you're cooked at that point. So it's not just Dak's fault. It's not a Dak alone issue. He's not the reason why you lost that game. But he is a reason. That was Dak's worst playoff game ever. Frankly, he'd actually played pretty well in the 3 previous ones. This one, though, wasn't good enough. And it was the entire team in the end that failed you. That's why I call it a team loss in this one. So I want you now to grade Dak Prescott this year. A, B, C, D, or F. Thinking a C. Began the year so hot, but the entire offense, once Dak came back from that injury, they were not clicking. The ground game couldn't get going. The offensive line turned into a not number one unit. Stop saying it was. They started not play like it at all this year. The receivers were off. The chemistry was off. They were dropping passes. Whole team collapsed. Dak's the quarterback. He's your leader. He definitely gets blamed for it. So grade it this year. A, B, C, D, or F. Because I know you guys want to talk about it. Ezekiel Elliott, what's his future? I know. I've seen the comments. We've talked about it so much. Many of you want Zeke gone. Now, I will make note that Zeke was playing through a partially torn PCL, which, again, coaching failure, and I hope it's coaching and not ownership dictating, because if it's ownership, you're screwed. You're cooked. You have no chance. Playing Zeke on the PCL and making him your lead guy, as great of a pass protector as he is, doesn't make sense. Hopefully he's healthy next year and you get more early season Zeke back, because he's probably not going anywhere, guys. Here's the cap numbers, because you've restructured his deal so many times. If you release him before June 6th, you incur an additional $11.86 million cap charge. You're not cutting him. You cut him post June 1st, which means you can't use that money until after June 1st. You save $0. At $0 savings, I'd just bring back Zeke and then cut him next year. You could trade him, save some money. You think you're going to be able to trade Zeke? Couldn't trade Jalen. Now I think Zeke's a better player right now than Jalen Smith, but the whole purpose of you guys and some of us wanting to trade Zeke is you don't want him anymore. Well, if you don't want him anymore, who wants him in the end? So what I'm saying is, I don't see you getting rid of Zeke, guys. I know you want it. I think he's here. You felt confident about him entering this year. You redid his deal just like you did Lyle Collins, Tyron Smith, which we'll get to in a little bit on a future video. But I think Zeke's here to stay next year. Maybe the year after that. Unless they restructure his deal again, you can move on from Zeke.